count of conspiracy. Today, a few minutes ago, in the Middle District of Alabama, a grand jury returned an 11-count indictment charging the Southern Poverty Law Center with 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. Between 2014 and 2023, SPLC paid at least $3 million to 8 individuals at least. These individuals were affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan, United Klans of America, National Socialist Movement, Aryan Nations Affiliated Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club, the Nationalist Socialist Party of America, Nazis, and the American Front. According to the charges in the indictment, the SPLC is a nonprofit entity that purports to fight white supremacy and racial hatred by reporting on extremist groups and conducting research to inform law enforcement groups with the goal of dismantling these groups. As the indictment describes, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred.
Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakak Radash. This is your Akim and Julazil, back with another quick lesson. And you can tell by the open topic, it's about who Esau Edom, man, and his policy, and his organizations. And you can see these devils are not to be trusted, man. None of his organizations, man. So you got this Southern Poverty Law Center, if I'm saying it correctly, but they pretty much, advocate or put people on notice about extremist hate groups or whatever, and they're more or less trying to be or promote themselves to be a neutral party, and as they're stated in this brief, this press brief, they try to eliminate what you want to say, extremist groups or et cetera, or they anti those type of groups, right? But once upon a time, man, recently, if you go to their website, they were saying the number one hate group in America was so-called, the first 5 groups were so-called black groups, man. The so-called Nation of Islam, Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party. They even had one of the Israelite camps or what you want to say, black. That's how they define us, as black Hebrew Israelites, which we are not black. That's a stereotype, a cast that this devil put upon us, man. There's no such thing as black, white, orange, purple, green people, and this information should be, and it shouldn't be something that's surprising, because a lot of this information through, only through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, the Lord said, what? Knowledge shall be increased. People should know this by now, so there's nobody outside of these United Snakes that are classified a color as a nation of people, man, other than these devils, man. So and we know where that comes from. That comes from the Bacon's Rebellion, man. In Virginia, man. Jamestown, Virginia, if I ain't mistaken. The Bacon's Rebellion. That's where that terminology come from, man. But we know those are nothing more than the curses, because the Lord said we'll be called bywords and proverbs, man. And that's what we're being still called to this day, man. But what's going on is the truth is being shed on these devils and their organizations and etc., man. So they were trying to, like I was mentioning, the first 5, if not more, top hate groups in America are so-called black or African American groups, man. And yet you see they are doing what? Funding these terrorist groups because they're one of them, man. This is Esau Edom, man. This is who this devil is, man. They try to disguise by themselves of being humanitarian good guys, man. But they are nothing more than the wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? You got these coon niggas, man. They want to believe a lie, kissing these pale faces' ass in order to what? Trying to gain some status in this devil society. But we know through the spirit and power Yahweh Shai, this devil's reign of terror is coming to an end, man. And I'm going to go into the book of Proverbs 94 and 20, where the point is, says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law. So these devils framing mischief, man. You know what I'm saying? They put things in writing, like the Southern Poverty Law Center for example. You know, like I mentioned, the first 5, if not more, it might have been more, it might have been 10. I think the elders even went into that some time ago. Are so-called black groups, man. So, but yet they got a history of lynching, burning, bombing, discriminating, and they still do it to this day. You know, groups of people, nations of people, but yet so-called Negroes here in Babylon the Great is called the top 5 or 10 hate groups in America, man. But yet the financial system they own, the the money system they own, this whole infrastructure is owned by them. So how can you demonstrate hate when you don't own nothing, man? You don't control nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? This devil controls everything, man. But yet you're the number one in their hate group, because these devils control the narrative, man. Because this is their rulership. So if they want to make you out to be the bad guy, they're in the position to do that, man. They can manipulate the situation. But yet this devil, it's time. The Lord said, these devils shall be revealed, man. This is the time that they're being revealed. So these devils tactics are being shown for what they are, man. You know, and the Lord said, what in the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, it says, never trust thy enemy, man. You don't care what position these devils in, man, all the way up to the commander-in-chief. You know, they're commander-in-chief of Babylon the Great, Babylon the Great, aka America, man. You can't trust these devils, man. You know, especially Esau Edom. You can't trust none of you can't trust these Jakes, let alone Esau Edom, man. You know, you gotta be leery of these people, man. You know, like I'm dealing with these Joe. You gotta deal with them on a constant basis, man. You know, but I don't trust none of these motherfuckers, man. You know, you have to deal with them, because if you don't go through the channels, they're try to justify the reason why you in your situation, because you didn't take the proper protocol to eliminate whatever you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So say for instance, if I don't go contact these certain people that are in a position to make sure things are going accordingly, they'll blame me for not doing that, even though I know I don't trust them. Because that's how corrupt they are, man. Just like, for example, and that's Yahweh Shai getting back at these devils for what? Trying to pretty much badmouth the men of the Lord, man. They call us the Black Hebrew Israelites. You know, we're considered, you know, in that, if it ain't a certain group, but nonetheless us in general, man. That's how they portray us, man, as a hate group. They call us the Black Hebrew Israelites. They call us a hate group. But that's what the Lord is doing, man. The Lord is getting back at these devils, man. You know, you see what they're doing. There's evidence, and they're being indicted. So there's evidence. So if you get an indictment, man, especially on a federal level, that you know what I mean. There's no escaping that, man. You know what I'm saying? They said, damn, the feds got a 90-something percent conviction rate. So they got indicted You know that's overwhelming evidence, man, that these devils, that Southern Poverty Law Center have been aiding known terrorists and hate groups, man. So they aid them because who? That's who they are, man. That's who you know what I mean? Who runs that organization? Esau Edom, man. Who runs this government system in general is Esau Edom, man. You know, but I ain't gonna make this lesson long, but I'm gonna go into it again. This is the book of Psalms 94:20. Again, it says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law," man. And that's what this devil has been doing and still doing today, man. They use their law, they use their position to frame mischief, man. You know what I'm saying? That with a stroke of a pen, they can write some bullshit in the law and have you, walk into the beat of it because they passed it. You know what I'm saying? There's information out here now that these devils are trying to find ways to continue to discriminate against you. They're trying to flip the narrative back the way they had it, man. Where they're gonna pass a law where they can deny you based on your so-called race, gender, et cetera, et cetera. They're in the process of doing that now, you know. But I'm going to end it off there, man. Hope the body was edified. Till next time, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Wakak Wadash. Again, this is your Akim Azil. Lord willing, I'll be back with another lesson. Till next time, Shalom, Barakatham, Baba Shalom.